Hi, you guys. I'm out here by my raised bed and I'm getting ready to kind of switch the seasons. But I have a problem with my raised bed and it's about a foot short in soil. Now, I've watched a lot of raised bed videos and I'm always so impressed how they get in there and they pull everything out and they feed it and put in new soil. It never works that way for me. I always have several crops that I don't want to pull out and then I can't add more soil and it becomes a real problem. Well, I have grown some beautiful romaine lettuce, and it's still early enough in the season for me, even though it is early May. So the romaine lettuce, and then I have let's see, 8 of these wonderful cucumbers, which I'm so excited about. And if I can find my pickle seeds, I'm going to put some of those in the ground too. So, but the problem is that this is like a 6x4 raised bed, and I don't want to take out my garlic right now, and I don't want to take out my beets. So how am I going to add soil? It's a problem. Well, I think I've got it figured out. So it's something that I really want to show you so we can get these new crops in the ground. So I'm going to be doing some crops from seedlings that I've already started, and I'm hoping to find those pickle seeds so I can get those in the ground too. The other thing is that I have this little secret that I do to keep the snails and the slugs off of my new seedlings, because this is just like having a steak dinner for those snails and slugs. So we want to keep those off of there so they can get nice and big and kind of hold their own. I'm not going to bore you with pulling out all this kale and some of this spinach. Now the spinach, I actually pulled one. I can go ahead and we're going to harvest the leaves on here because we can have spinach and eggs with this. It'll be delicious. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get all that done, come right back, and I'll show you how I'm going to put the soil in without pulling out my garlic and my beets. And let's put some new crops in the ground and keep the bugs off. This angle gives you a pretty good idea now of what's going on. I got all that big kale out of there. It is just sitting over here, and I'm going to harvest that. But you guys don't really need to see that. I just tripped the leaves right off. Now, right back here, this is beets, and they're not ready to come out yet. And these down here, right here, there's some garlic, and I'm going to give it a little more of a chance. And right here are some carrots. Now, they're not ready to come out yet either, even though some little critter came and sat in there. I don't know what he was doing. Right here on this side of the bed, right here, is where I want to put my cucumbers and my pickles. So, and then I'll probably put the romaine lettuce right here. So what I need to do is I need to get the dirt built way back up in here. There is just not nearly enough dirt. I mean, there's probably 6 inches of dirt in here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys what I do. And I'm going to fill it up with dirt, and then we're going to get those plants in the ground. My secret weapon that I have are these plastic panels. Now they're about 2.5, 3 feet long. They actually come apart. I can make a raised bed out of these if I wanted to, like a circle. They're very, very sturdy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prop these up in here, and then I'm going to fill this part up with dirt. And then when I'm ready to pull all of this side out, then I will go ahead and fill this up with dirt or new soil and some good plant food. And then I won't have to lose or pull out any of the plants that I really want to keep. So I'm going to go ahead and fiddle with this. And then I'm going to put in some new garden soil. And then we're going to be able to plant those plants. Now, one thing, there is a little bit of a tricky problem down here. I have irrigation in here, and it's going to end up getting buried. So as I put the soil in, I'm going to have to pull the irrigation up too. I'm also going to be using some biotone. And this stuff is awesome because what it will do is it will make a really wonderful micro organic area in the soil. And it'll cause those roots to really grow. And if you've got healthy roots, you've got healthy plants. So we'll be putting the biotone mixed in with the new soil that I'm going to be putting in. I don't know, this might look pretty silly to you guys, but this is saving me a lot of trouble. I've got this whole bed over here that I don't even have to think about for a couple of weeks, and I can get my cucumbers, my pickles, and my romaine lettuce in there. Right now, it's early May, and we're in Southern California. By the time the middle of June hits, the lettuce is going to be struggling a little bit. So I want to get it in the ground so we can get as much crop out of it as possible. But by mid-June, we're going to be harvesting a lot of cucumbers if I could just get them into the ground. These particular cucumbers are cucumbers I grow every season. I'll put the name of the seed company up on the screen for you, but I get them at Target. And I know that sounds crazy. Everybody's running around looking for the best seed company in the world, right? Well, Target has a really good brand, and it's completely heirloom. It's all organic. And you guys know that's what I like in my garden. Now, the one thing, I'm going to go ahead and put these in the ground, and then I'm going to show you how I keep the slugs and the snails from getting up there, and maybe even some earwigs because they love to chew. So all I'm going to do is really, really simple. I'm just going to pop these out of their little 6-packs. And since there's 8 of them, I'm going to divvy them up with these little trellis things that I have. These are just tomato cages. And they actually work really well for the cucumbers and the pickles. So I'll put probably 4 and 4, and that'll make my 8. And then I can put some pickles over here. Now, I had so much luck with my pickles last year from the same seed company that I think I'm going to find another place in the garden to grow more, because we actually pickled our pickles last year. We had so many. It was wonderful. Now, I'm sure you guys know how to do this, but I just want to go over it real quick. When you're getting them out of the seed pack, especially young ones, these are very, very young. Punch the bottom up and squeeze all around so you loosen it up, and then try your best to hold on to it. You can see the roots are coming down, which is excellent, but it's not a big root ball like maybe you're used to. So he's a little bit delicate. Anyways, I'm just going to make a place in the ground. Stick them down in there as gently as I can. And he'll grow up on this trellis or this little cage, and he'll be great. So let's just get them all in the ground. Let me see. Yeah, the Market 76 is my absolute favorite. I even wrote favorite on here. So Market 76, back to roots, heirloom, so you can save seeds if you want to, but you cannot go wrong with these cucumbers. They are big, they are juicy. My daughter loves them so much, she won't even buy a cucumber from the grocery store now. I'm going to pull the camera in closer so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to put 4 cucumbers here, 4 cucumbers here, and I'm going to leave this open for the pickles. All right. So here are my 4 cucumbers. Are they the darn sweetest little guys? Look at them. They're so ready to go. So we have 1. Everyone's going to get their own leg. All my irrigation's down in here, but we want to be careful with that. It's very important. 2. I mean, once you already have them germinated and they're ready to go like this, it's just so easy. Now you just need to pop them into your raised bed or your container. These kind of things do great in containers. That's probably what I'm going to do with the pickles. I'm going to find a really big container and stick them down in there. So did you notice that this one right here, that happens. This one right here is a little lanky, and that's because it didn't get enough sunshine when it germinated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury it a little deeper than its friends, like so, and that will help it to stand up better. Now this one has a little guy that germinated late. He's got to go because he's just going to take nutrients and he probably isn't going to do anything. They are going to love this brand new soil. Okay, now we have 2 here and they're pretty good looking. So I am going to pull them apart, be very gentle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And we'll go ahead and put these in. If you guys notice, it is in the evening time here. It's a little dark, but this is the best time to put in seedlings, especially little babies like this. If you do it in the heat of the day, boy, it's hard for them to kind of overcome the heat, overcome being jostled around. So doing it when it's cool really helps. So let's go ahead and put our row of romaine lettuce. And I want to keep my tags because I want to know what it was I was planting here. Let's see how their roots look. So we're going to squish them. Okay, babies. Look at, I can't even see any roots. So this guy's a little baby. But I'm just going to pop him down in here. And they're going to grow side by side with my cucumbers, and it's going to be just fine. We eat a lot of romaine lettuce with our spinach, and so we love to have that every evening. And having these wonderful plants right out of the garden is just, gosh, it just makes you feel like you're doing something good, you know. So I'm going to plant those probably about 6 inches apart. And I think that's going to be a lot. The thing about romaine lettuce is that you can come out and just pick off how much you want and then leave the plant. Let's see if I can find another big one. And then when you leave the plant, you'll come back in a couple of days and it will already have grown, you know, started to grow some new leaves. These are beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this romaine. It looks pretty. Now, I did start some romaine several weeks before these, and something got a hold of it, had a little lunch. Yeah, we want to try really hard not to plant it any deeper than the top of the soil here, because we don't want to drown the poor little guy. His roots are way down here, so he'll be just fine. Now, I am going to take the hose and I'm going to go ahead and water all these guys in. And then they'll be super happy when the sun comes up tomorrow. This is kind of crazy. With just in about 20 minutes, this whole bed looks completely different. I can't tell you how I'm excited to get those cucumbers in there and this romaine lettuce. It is not going to take them very long. As long as I keep these nice and moist and watered, and they've got plenty of food, they have this brand new soil, they are going to go quickly because it's going to get really warm, and the soil's warm. They are absolutely going to love it. Now, I did promise you at the beginning of this video that I would show you a little trick that I have. And if you go back and look at any of my videos, I did a series on what's eating my plants. Highly recommend you take a look at that if you're having any trouble, because we go over a couple things like leaf miners, slugs and snails, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Bugs that are really problems in the garden. What this is right here, I had some beautiful sage. Actually, I still have it. It's a beautiful big plant. And it grew these lovely flowers, and the flowers are spent now. But it smells amazing. So snails and slugs don't like this. Earwigs and pillbugs, they don't like this. So if you've got anything like, oh, I don't know, like sage or thyme or rosemary, they do not like that smell. So rough it up a little bit, get all that smell out there, and then drop it around in here and make like a little force field around your plants. And I'm telling you, the snails and slugs will not come. Nothing will come. I mean, this is organic gardening at its absolute finest. And my hands smell delicious. So they really don't like this smell. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure there's plenty of this in the bed and cover every angle so they don't sneak in on the side somewhere. I'm going to water these, and it's in the evening time. And this is the absolute most fun time for snails and slugs to come out, when the ground's wet and it's cool and it's dark. And I'm not coming out here in the dark to pick them off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to protect them. Now, the other thing that this does is that it makes these delicious little seedlings smell yucky. So instead of them smelling this wonderful steak dinner that they think they're going to get, it smells kind of like dried up old sage, and they don't like that. When you use vinegar, which I'll probably put a spritz of vinegar in here tonight after I water, because they really don't like vinegar and they don't want to have anything to do with it. So never use vinegar full strength. I show you how in my What's Eating My Plants, in that series, I show you how to mix it and what to spray it with. But basically take about a quart of water, put about 1/8 of a cup of white vinegar, mix it around, and then spray it with one of those spray bottles. It'll really, really help. I'm really trying to encourage everybody to go organic, because even the tiniest little bit of chemical, even neem oil that gets on a bee's little legs, if they take it back to into their beehive, it could wipe out all the little baby bee larvae. So it doesn't take very much to kill the tiny little insects. Anyways, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you'll come back when we come and take a look and see how all of this stuff is doing. So thanks for stopping by. I love having you in the garden with me. Be sure and subscribe. Be sure and like and press the little bell so that way you'll get notified every time I have a video coming up. So fun having you in the garden, you guys. I'll see you next time.